Thanks for doing this. Am I getting you from Mississippi?
I am actually in North Carolina,
Oh, whereabouts in beautiful North Carolina?
Charlotte.
Charlotte, the Queen City, I think they call that.
Yeah, they do.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much for doing this. And you have an app launching in about a week and a half.
Yes, in about a week and a half.
How long is it when you have a great idea like this from saying, hey, I'm going to have an app to actually launching something like this?
It's taken 3 years, so it took a really long time just thinking about it and figuring out how to get it, out of my head and onto the app. So it's taken 3 years.
Wow. Now, I know what it is because of your great representation, Larry. He said, hey, this is what Bianca's app is, and sounds awesome to me, but how would you describe to somebody who doesn't know about it yet?
That it's a great, useful, and necessary tool for anyone who's interested in our sport, which is track and field. Even if you want to just be a guest to sign on to see what the kids are doing in the sport, you'll have the access to be able to do that as well. So, but as far as the kids are concerned, you can keep up with your competition. You can see how well you're developing and how well you're doing over time. It can help you improve. So, I mean, it's a great necessary tool for anybody aspiring to just have any aspirations for track and field.
The kind of app that you can just download in the matter of a couple of minutes, sign up in a couple of minutes, easy, not a lot of flash, that kind of thing?
Right. Yes. Straight to the point. It's definitely it's the developmental aspect of the sport. So a lot of people have been asking, a lot of, people who don't run track have been asking, whether or not they can download it if they just like to run. And, honestly, there's like a million apps already out there for people who just like to run. So I did not cater to the audience who just wants to, leisurely run. It's for those athletes looking for scholarships and they're looking to really, really improve upon their talent.
Now, for somebody like you, everything is at a high level. You've set the bar so high because I'm talking to an Olympian, world champion, record-breaking person with great endorsements. Is there pressure for you when you come out with an app, or is it just getting the app out into the world, the success itself?
A little bit of both because it's a free app. I made it with everything that I would have wanted when I was competing, so I know it's going to be successful. But again, I am one of those people who I'm really, really, really particular about what I put out, how it gets out there, and so I do put a little extra pressure on myself to, for it to just be perfect. And I think that's a problem, that people have. They want to have this, level of perfection. And it's not a necessary pressure. It doesn't have to be perfect. Like you said, just getting this out there in the world is really a good thing already in itself. So right now I'm just focusing on that and trying to have a successful push and a successful launch for it, and the rest will come. So
Obviously, training for the Olympics is something that takes years, but you just said it takes 3 years to make this app actually happen. Is that the most committed project that you've ever been a part of besides the Olympics?
it really is. This is the most definitely my most committed project. Because you have those days where you really just don't know, with the way the technology is moving these days and just people's attention span and things like that. It's just one of those things that you kind of go up and down wondering like, oh, I really don't know. But then I'll go out and someone will speak to me and they'll talk to me and they'll find out I'm an Olympian and, oh my God, my daughter runs track, but we don't really know what to do with her and we don't know this. And then it reminds me that, okay, it's still necessary. People still need this app because there's still people who really don't know what to do with their children, and this will help them. So yeah, I always get that nudge that I'm doing the right thing. So
something I like to know about people who are medalists in the Olympics, obviously you win the medal. After that, you have to do all that media and everybody just calls you an Olympic medalist for the rest of your life and all that. And so it immediately changes your life. But long term, after that happens, is your life that different, or does it go back to how it was after you won the medalist, besides having that in your biography?
It depends on where you are in the world. In Europe, obviously, track is the #2 sport behind football, which is soccer over there. So over there, you have a really, really big celebrity. You can go, everybody recognizes you. They have pictures. They're waiting outside your hotel to take pictures. So it's definitely a big difference from the U.S., where track really doesn't really get very much notoriety or anything like that. But Well, say it pretty much stays the same since I do live in America, where they don't really care very much about track. So, if they follow the sport, they know me. But if not, then it's kind of like, oh wow, that's great, and then that's it. So,
Yeah, that's an interesting point, though. I didn't realize that track and field was, say, number 2 in Europe, but every now and then there's crossover athletes from that world, like somebody like, Florence Griffith Joyner, who she's in the Sir Mix-a-Lot song "Baby Got Back" where they say, "I keep my wound like FloJo."
yeah.
I didn't know if per se something like that happened with you, where there's this big stardom in Europe that we don't know about, that's not on our radar here, and you're kind of like, I need to stay out of Europe because I need to keep calm and have my life. It sounds like it's a very different life for when you go over there.
It is because they are very more in tune with their sports. And athletics, like you said, to be honest, track is really big in America. They just don't realize it. Every time they're talking about, guys in football or whatever, they always mention how fast they are. And they always mention that,
True.
oh, they ran
Yeah.
track or they did this. And it's like,
They
track
run
is
a
a lot
4.0, a 4.2.
Exactly.
Exactly.
They're always comparing speed. They're always saying, well, he was a track guy at this. So, it's like they talk about track more than they realize that they do. So, I think that just over there, they have a different type of love for their athletes, and they really appreciate what athletes do. And the Olympics is a big deal. It's a really big deal. It's not something that everyone gets a chance to do. So when they meet these Olympians and they talk to these Olympians, then that means something to them, sort of like a Super Bowl champion would mean to America. Like, people know those Super Bowl champions. When they see them, they want to take pictures with them. They want to talk to them because that means something to them. That's a great stage. That's the biggest stage in football or whatever. So for us, the Olympics is a really big stage, and not everyone gets to do that. No matter how hard you work for it, not everybody can say that they've done it. So it just means a little bit more to people who follow the sport closely.
And then bring it back to the app here, being called BK Trackstars. BK, Bianca Knight.
Mm-hmm.
If it goes well, which I'm hoping it does, do you think we're going to see more BK branded things as a result? Because, hey, those are great initials that are not forgettable.
Absolutely. Ever since I was in high school, people always wondered if I was going to have a shoe, and I'm like, I don't really. I was never that type of person, but people continue to ask that, and I was like, oh, I could see myself helping brand, make a little shoe for the sport or whatever, because I do have a pretty good following, and a lot of people would be interested, and that's kind of like a thing in track for some of the top athletes to have some type of brand, whether it's clothing or a shoe. So, yeah, I think it could segue into something else.
I love the bio that you have on Twitter where, to read it out, it says, "Mommy, world record holder, Olympian, world champion." A lot of people, the mommy might be third or fourth, but I think that shows your priorities with everything. What is life like for you outside of running? Is it just family? And then when you have to do the running, you do the running, you have to do the business calls, you have to, but it's all about the home life?
Absolutely. It's all about being a mommy. Our kids are different. It's an experience I obviously never had before I had kids. So it's one of those things you can't prepare for. It's kind of like once you have them, you're literally thrown in there, no matter how many parenting classes you took, no matter what you did, once they get here, it's completely different. Every child is different. I have 2 boys and they are night and day. So it's continuous. It's never a day off, but I still have my time to be able to, like you said, work on my app and to work out and just things like that. So it's not just I get to breathe every now and then, but it's mommy time 24/7.
Well, I got 3 more quick questions for you if you've got the time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, first one. Obviously, we don't see earbuds or headphones on you when you're running in a competition per se. But
Right.
what music do you listen to when you go for a run personally?
To be honest, I listen to like R&B. I listen to slow jams. I just listen to songs I
Really?
like, or I don't listen to music at all. Earbuds they never stay in my ears, so it's more annoying than anything. So literally just running with the thoughts in my head and just enjoying whatever I'm seeing and the noises that I'm hearing around me. It's actually good enough. I really was never one of those playlist type athletes. I never had a playlist.
Now, when you say slow jams, that can mean 25 different things. You could be talking about way old school, like Frankie Beverly and
Mhm.
Maze. You could be talking about, say, something that Janelle Monáe did that was slower. What do you mean by slow jams?
Well, I am from Mississippi, so Frankie Beverly and Maze would be on the rotation. Some Sir Charles Jones, some blues. I listen to blues a lot, so yeah, my slow jams are very old. I might throw in some new age artists in there, but otherwise, everything is kind of like old school, old before I was born. So.
Wow, so the tempo, I've never heard this before. Now, granted, I don't talk every day with great runners. As you said before, in football, it is about the running. So I didn't ask Eric Dickerson what he's doing running wise, but I've never heard that before. I've always heard that people want the faster tempo to keep them going. So is that a relaxing kind of thing to just take your mind off the fact that your body's going through the tremendous pressure of running?
Absolutely. Sometimes, and especially with running and any other sport, your body reacts to the things that's around you. So listening to high pumped up music, of course, your heart rate is going to be up. You're going to be doing, but with track, that's not necessarily a good thing to tire yourself out before you run. So it's one of those things to kind of keep me as mellow as possible, keep the nerves down and things like that. So basically take my mind off of what I'm doing and just enjoy, where I am. So it's one of those things where the music is, it could affect you either in a good way or a bad way. So I would prefer to either not listen to anything or just listen to something real nice and slow. So
You just totally blew my mind. I am going to see the next time I run if that works, and less Rocky IV soundtrack and more slow jams. Thank you, Bianca. Well, next question.
welcome.
Do you have a TV recommendation for this day and age? Because everyone kind of seems to need a new series to blow through over the course of a few days.
Oh man, you know what? I play roulette on Netflix. I may flip through there, see something that looks good, and I'll actually go through a whole series of something that I didn't have any background on or anything like that because I do love watching movies. So that's one of my pastimes. Yeah, I don't have to know any of the actors or actresses. I can just watch a movie. So I don't even think I haven't been watching TV lately. I've been doing interviews almost every other day and really working on the app. So right now, the computer screen has been my TV, but right now I don't have any recommendations. I haven't watched anything lately.
If you're doing interviews, that means Larry's doing a good job. So kudos to Larry. And the closer, any last words for the kids?
Dream big, whatever you want to do. It's not going to happen overnight, but if you continue to chip away at it, it'll come to fruition. So just dream big.
Thank you so much for your time. Really inspired by everything that you're doing, everything you've done. So Bianca, just keep it up, and looking forward to this app becoming a huge hit.
Perfect. Thank you.
Paltrocast.